Hey, the purpose of this conversation is to talk about the fascicle arrangement that we have within our body. Fascicle, again, is just a fancy word for a bundle of muscle fibers. And we begin by talking about circular fascicle arrangement. The example on this particular slide is orbicularis oris, and it's found around the mouth. It's just what it is. The arrangement of muscle fibers are in a circular pattern. There's another example that's not on this slide around the eyes, and it is orbicularis oculi. So orbicularis oris is the example of circular fascicle arrangement. Our second one is convergent. Convergent. And the example on this slide is pectoralis major. And I guess a characteristic of a convergent fascicle arrangement would be wide on one side, and in this case at the sternum, and then coming over to a point kind of in the armpit, and this would be our chest muscle. So pectoralis major is an example of convergent. The third form that we have is fusiform, and the example on this particular slide is the biceps brachii. A characteristic, I guess, would be wide in the middle and then tapered on either end. And this, of course, the biceps brachii muscle is the traditional muscle. When someone says, show me your muscles, that's typically what they're going to flex, that baked potato type muscle that's in conjunction with the humerus bone. We go to the fourth iteration of our fascicle arrangement, and that would be parallel arrangement. When we talked about bone, there was the for sure trivia question that you were going to get about the hyoid bone. I would imagine this is going to be another type of trivia question. What's the longest muscle in the body? And the longest muscle in the body is the sartorius muscle. It stretches from the outside of the hip to the inside of the knee, and its arrangement of muscle fibers is parallel in nature. So this is the fourth one, parallel arrangement. Over on this side, we've got three different types of arrangement, and those three different types of arrangement all have a root word, pinnate. Pinnate means feathered. Feathered. So when we look at our first one here, the example is the deltoid, and it is multi-pinnate, which means multi-feathered. So the deltoid obviously is our shoulder muscle. It's deltoid because of its triangular shape, kind of three heads, three attachments, but it has multiple arrangements of our fascicles, so multi-pinnate. Excuse me. Our second one in the pinnate category is bipinnate, and just as it suggests, it is two-feathered or double-feathered. And don't get caught up in the name of the example here. Rectus does not mean rectum. Rectus means straight. Femoris means of the femoral bone. So the femur, straight femur, it's going to be in our thigh muscle. That's a good example of a bipinnate, double-feathered, two-feathered type arrangement. And then the last one, probably the funniest word to say, is unipinnate. Unipinnate, single-feathered. You'd find this down in the lower leg where we don't have a lot of muscle structure on the anterior side. The example here, extensor digitorum longus. So it's the muscle on the front side, the anterior side, where our gastrocnemius would be on the back side. So you've got 7 fascicle arrangements: circular, convergent, fusiform, parallel, multipinnate, bipinnate, and unipinnate. And if I were to give you these 7 things on a slide that look like this, could you fill in the blanks? Might be the way that we have to do class when we do our diagram identification. Got to come up with a unique way to do this. Still want you guys to know it. Muscle fascicle arrangements.